Just fixed my trailer brakes after yesterday. I spent a lot of time troubleshooting it and fixing it, so I thought I'd just make this video on all the steps I went through in order to fix these brakes and troubleshoot it, so I have a reference next time. Maybe this will help you guys too. All right, so the first thing I did is I went and looked up all of the grounds, and look, see there's these grommets where the wire goes in here. A lot of them have fallen out and they were rubbing on there, so I cleaned up all these connections, and I should probably get some new grommets there so it doesn't wear away. So I'd cleaned up all the connections there, and then I could have also grounded these connections, had each grounded to the frame of this trailer, but I didn't do that step, but probably could have done that as well. Next thing I did is I went up here and looked at my brake controller. So my old brake controller had some loose connections, so I just bought a new one and put it in. These trailer brakes have 4 connections usually, the ones I've seen. Black is hot, white is neutral, red is the tail light, and the tail light that goes on once you push the brakes. And then the blue is actually the brakes. So one thing I did is, here's the ground connected to this wire, and then this wire ran in who knows where, and I'm not sure how good that connection was. So I put two, so I grounded it right there, both these connections, instead of just having them hooked together. So it's grounded directly to the frame, so I know I have a good connection there, and that one's grounded. And then the next thing I did is I tested the positive line, 12-volt line coming into this, and even though it read 12 volts, but even though it reads 12 volts, I think this could also have a bad connection, and when current tries to go through there, if there's a bad connection along this route, it could mislead you, because it could read 12 volts, but it may not allow that much current to feed through this brake controller. So what I did there is I made a direct connection from this to my positive on battery terminal, and then I ran that jumper cable from the positive battery terminal directly over here, and I clipped right onto this wire specifically. So I removed this wire nut and clipped the battery cable directly onto this line, so I knew there was a good positive connection feeding this. So that looked good, and then I made sure when I pushed the brakes down with the brake controller and the brake pedal that the brake current, or the brake voltage, it won't go, usually doesn't go all the way up to 12, but it'll go up to about 10. The lights, they'll when you push the brake, they'll I believe this one goes up to 12 volts, but this one goes up to right about 8 volts. And usually there's a number on here, you can see how many volts are going through here, but this one goes up to about 10. So once I knew that I had my ground established and my hot established well, I used this one to make sure that I had my blue brake line was connected. This is from Harbor Freight, Centec. Yeah, so basically you can clip, this came from Harbor Freight. This one actually saved the day here. So I clipped this onto my blue brake, and then you can adjust it to read a tone, and then it makes a noise, and you can follow the wire. So I propped my brake up into place, and then I hooked onto my blue wire here, my brake wire that was energized with 10 volts, and I followed it all the way back. And I confirmed that it's coming through here. Then I plugged my trailer in, and I confirmed that the wire kept going from my trailer plug, following my trailer plug, and I noticed it stopped right here in this junction box. So I took this off, This is an extra wire. But and I noticed that this plug had actually got pulled out, and so all these were disconnected, and all of the hot lines had like touched the frame, and so there were a bunch of fuses that were out as well. So I went and checked all the fuses in the truck, replaced a few of those, and then I had to map out what wire was doing what. So I printed this out, but sometimes the trucks will follow these color patterns, sometimes they won't, so you can't really guarantee that they'll follow these same patterns that you print out online. But so I had to, so all the wires from the truck, I just mapped out the colors. So from the truck, I turned the blinkers on, and I noticed this red wire was the left blinker, and also when you push on the brakes, this red wire got entered power as well, because the brake lights turn on. So you don't want to confuse that with the brake light. But I noticed, when you turn the blinker on, it'll go up to 12 volts, and then also when you brake, it goes up to 12 volts. So I know that was the left blinker. White was ground. I tested the continuity there to white against the frame of the truck. Knew that was ground. Blue was the brake. I put black. That was hot, but it wasn't connected to anything, so it was never hot even when the truck was running. Then for me, brown, right, was the blinker. This is all coming from the truck. And then green was the tail lights. So when you turn the lights on, both the tail lights light up. And then, so once the truck line was figured out, I had these are the wires that go to the trailer, and I had to map which color on the trailer went to which light. Here's the trailer colors. Red did map to red. White was white. Black or blue was the brake light. On the truck it was blue, but I noticed on the trailer, I used the little Harbor Freight tracker thing, and the black one mapped straight to the wheels on the trailer brakes. So the blue one mapped to black, and then black wasn't connected to anything from the truck, so I just put I think I have a wire nut on that. Brown was to brown, green was to green. And let's see what else. Still need to fix these. These are the wires that are just hanging out here. This one should hook into the brakes, I believe. So when that pulls, the brakes will get energized and turn on. But yeah, so I'm going to put this in here, so if it ever comes out again, I'll screw that down. I'll know what those map to. But yeah, this thing helped a lot. So hopefully that helps somebody. Let me know if there's any tricks I missed. I'm sure there's other people that have done this more than me, but thanks. Oh yeah, and here's my 48 volt battery I'm hooking into my 12 volt trailer. Check that out. This thing will run my air conditioner at night in my trailer for like 5 hours.